This morning in our Emmy-nominated series Note to Self, we hear from rock climber Alex Honnold. The 33-year-old is one of the biggest names in the adventure sport. Last summer, he became the first and only person so far to climb Yosemite's El Capitan without any ropes or safety gear. The famed 3,000-foot rock wall is higher than the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. His climb is the subject of a new documentary called Free Solo. Honnold returned to the site of his record-breaking triumph to write a note to his teenage self about what lies ahead.
Right now, you're an 18-year-old loner, lost in a sea of uncaring faces at UC Berkeley. You'll spend most of your freshman year, not at class, but at a local boulder, traversing the rock face back and forth with the headphones in. You prefer it to the climbing gym because you don't have to talk to anyone. Surprisingly, this is the beginning of a path. You will leave school, move into a van, and devote yourself to climbing. Your lack of social skills will be one part of why you take up free soloing, or climbing without a rope. But don't worry, you'll eventually find yourself right at home in the climbing community, surrounded by close friends and lifelong partners. You've always loved the physical movement of climbing. There's a certain joy in swinging around, propelling yourself upward, the fluidity of movement. Whether it's climbing trees or buildings as a kid, or climbing Half Dome in Yosemite National Park as an adult, you'll come to appreciate the strain in your arms and the burning of your muscles. You'll experience this joy climbing throughout your life. No matter how many routes you climb, it will always be at the core of your drive.
He scales walls higher than the Empire State Building.
Alex Honnold is a giant in the rock climbing community.
No ropes, no safety gear, just him and the rock.
The idea of free soloing El Capitan, the iconic 3,000-foot wall in Yosemite, will become an all-encompassing dream for much of your climbing life. For the first 5 or 6 years, you'll be too afraid to try, too afraid to even put any effort toward a potential solo. Right now, you're afraid of so many things: strangers, girls, vegetables, falling to your death. That's fine. Fear is a perfectly natural part of life. You will always feel fear.
Oh, that's scary.
But over time, you will realize that the only way to truly manage your fears is to broaden your comfort zone. It's a long, slow process that requires constantly pushing yourself. But eventually you'll feel pretty darn good and you'll climb big walls just like this. You'll have near misses and frequently think about death. It'll change your perspective. Little annoyances will melt away. There will always be people calling you crazy or assuming that you have a death wish. That's fine. They don't see the amount of time and effort that goes into preparation, or your drive to do something difficult, especially if it's never been done before. But you will always find purpose in exploring your own limits. Don't let anyone else's opinion rein you in. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Live your life in the way that you find most fulfilling. For many years, climbing will be the most important thing in your life. You will put climbing before everything else. But keep an open mind. Eventually, you will have a wonderful girlfriend and a charitable foundation. In the end, it all comes back to El Capitan. It will give your life direction for almost a decade. It will be your muse, the reason you get up early to train and stay out for long days in the mountains.
He achieved the holy grail of rock climbing.
The day that you finally free solo El Cap will be one of the most satisfying of your life.
The first person in history to solo climb El Capitan without ropes.
It will also serve as an important reminder that no summit is more important than the long process of getting there. Climbing is a lifelong journey. Use it to learn and grow. And Alex, don't forget to enjoy the view.
Okay.
Remember when he was here at the table?
I know. Listen, over time you'll realize the only way to truly manage your fears is to broaden your comfort zone. It's a long, slow process that requires constantly pushing yourself. That's something all of us can live by.
And yet I love how he ranked fear of girls and vegetables higher than fear of falling to his death, right?
The
Sounds like my son.
Focus
Fear of
that it takes
vegetables.
to do this, the focus that it takes, obviously, on the wall.
Yeah.
But all the prep that goes before it, the daily commitment to this, that is what's amazing. And a also the mental skill of this.
I would like to know the camera person shooting that going, okay, Alex, we can go on down now. Good job, good job.
He is amazing. The New York Times best-selling book, Note to Self, Inspiring Words from Inspiring People, features letters from our Emmy-nominated series. It's published by Simon & Schuster, a division of CBS, and is available right now.
And you can hear more of CBS This Morning, including extended interviews and original content on our podcast. That's available on Apple's podcast app or wherever you like to get your podcasts.